Namaskar. Welcome to GEG Delhi NCR session. I'm Sangeeta Gulati, and with me, I have my team here, Sanchita and Vibha. We are again excited to bring you one more session. As we always promise, we are always on the lookout to bring you something new, something exciting, something that you can take back to your classroom and make a difference. And that's what we are going to do today. But before we bring our guest onto the stage, who's going to conduct the session today, it's always nice to start the session by getting to know all of you. So let us know where you are joining from. Share this link with your friends. Today's session is especially going to be interesting for teachers who are teaching English in their classroom. So if you know someone who doesn't know us, then please share this link right away. Ask them to join in live, because there's always a little bit of a fun and thrill in attending a session live. But of course, our recordings will stay available on YouTube for you to join in later. Getting started with this thought, Sanchita, how do you think? Which way are we going? What is new that we should look out for? What's happening at your end?
Thank you, Sangeeta ma'am. Hello to all our viewers and community members. Happening time, lots of stuff happening all around us. AI has now become a sort of a mainstay in our lives, whether we look at our day-to-day work, or whether we are looking at lesson planning, planning assessments, or just some recap work that we might be preparing for our students. So it's now here to stay, and in fact, a lot of the old tools that we loved, they are all coming up with AI supported features. For example, if you look at Ed Puzzle, it's been a long time favorite of mine. I've loved it so much, and now in recent months, tools like Ed Puzzle, or whether it's quizzes, these have been like we've loved them for years, and they've come up with some very interesting ways to help teachers to leverage technology even more with their students. But with that, I sometimes feel that we're not reading as much as we used to. That's definitely a struggle with me. I was an avid reader. I mean, people used to joke that I would read even Moongfali ka packet, in winters when people bought peanuts. After eating, I would open out the
The
packet and start
newspaper.
reading what was there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And whether it's fiction, non-fiction, I've been an avid reader all my life. But yeah, now I struggle. And when we look at our students, especially, I'm a history teacher, so language is a very heavy part of how my subject moves. And I often share this pain point with the English teachers in my school, that vocabulary has gone down the drain. Students are unable to write a simple sentence, and it all boils down, I think, to the fact that or rather, the we aren't reading enough. Our younger folk are not reading enough, and I think that's where it all stems from. And I think, yeah, and what should one read? I mean, yeah, Moongfali ka packet is not always the best kind of reading, but I feel literature is such a huge tool in understanding your world, improving your language skills. And yeah, so that's what's been going on, and I try to find ways to infuse literature into my own classes. So I'm definitely looking forward to what's coming today.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's so very true, in fact, Sanchita, because mm, I think this is the dialogue that's happening all across as to how do we maybe change the curriculum so that we can integrate AI rather than rejecting it outright and say, I'm not going to allow it. Students are banned from using any of those tools. I think it's time that we relook at what we are teaching and how we are teaching, and allow for these tools to play a big role so that our students are not caught completely unaware when they step out and they realize the power. And I think they're the ones who are going to build more AI tools for us. So it's better to give them an opportunity to use it and to embrace it, and for us to be a little guarded perhaps, but not reject it outright. Vibha, what's your take on this?
I will just add on to 2 points what Sanchita ma'am said. One thing she said was that a lot of tools that we have always loved have started bringing in that AI element. I'll also kind of stretch that point. A lot of the tools that we have loved have started making a lot of features paid as well, and hence the need to. I've come across a lot of teachers saying that, okay, I used to use this XYZ tool for like 5 years, but now it's really troubling me. Give me a solution for it. So that's one reason I am looking forward to Sushmita ma'am's session today, because really looking forward to a fresh perspective. And the second thing, what Sanchita ma'am said was about the reading habit, the basic reading habit, and how history requires a lot of, it's a language heavy subject. But I'll just kind of again stretch that point. I'm pretty sure even the science and math teachers are struggling with this, because comprehension is something that is also going down the drain nowadays. In fact, even the basic, the word problems and the situation, the basic question our kids have started struggling with, and it's across the schools, across cities. So yes, I agree. The solution still remains to be reading, and it has to be inculcated in a manner that works for our kids. You can't just kind of force the child to sit and read. It has to. We have to get creative. It's high time now. So yeah, really looking forward to the session today for a
Yeah, so I think
perspective.
without any delay, we should bring Sushmita on the stage because literature is what we are all talking about right now, and she's the right person to guide us to share her experience. So, welcome, Sushmita, to GG Delhi NCR. We are looking forward to your session, as you just heard. But for the audience, we need to introduce Sushmita, and it's my pleasure, absolutely, to introduce and welcome you, Sushmita. So, Sushmita Mathur has been an English educator for last 15 years. She's currently head of department at N Podar, Mumbai. What is also very interesting is that Sushmita is also co-leader of GEG Mumbai. So let's think of this program, this event to be a collaboration of GEG Mumbai and GEG
Yes.
Delhi NCR, and we look forward to more such collaborations happening. So very excited to have you here. Sushmita is also a Google certified trainer, so she's been at it. Her passion will speak for itself as she starts presenting of all the experiments that she is doing in the classroom,
Yeah.
and also spreading and sharing them. So, welcome, Sushmita. We are looking forward to, but just to add to what I've said, maybe you can highlight any more of what you do in classroom. How do you
Uh,
make your subject? And do you agree with what we were discussing earlier that
yes.
language is a concern, reading is a concern
Mm-hmm.
nowadays?
Yes, thank you so much, GG NCR, for having me here today. And as I said, I'm a very, very passionate English educator. Been at it for 15 years, like you rightly said, and also seen how English language teaching has sort of gone like completely. The rules that we used to apply so many years back are completely out of the window now. And to be honest, I like, when AI got introduced, and me, like, being the doyens of literature, talking about romanticism and idealism and creativity and all of that, we used to take AI with a pinch of salt. You know, what can artificial intelligence actually contribute to writing, to literature? I mean, it's science, and how do science and literature meet? And it was quite surprising, and I really scorned at it. I mean, I can go on record to say that I literally scorned at it when AI was introduced, and I thought it was for the maths and science teachers to handle, and how could it help us? And the irony is that I am probably the most prolific user of AI now in my school, and using it in various activities, using it in classroom teaching, and literally every step, every step that we take now, we have AI by our side. So earlier it was as if literature and AI were divorced, and now I feel as if it's a match made in heaven. And we are able to use it in so many ways in our classroom teaching, in our activities. And I think we have a lot of fun with it, because in fact, I've had times when I've typed in an activity on Gemini, and I've had Gemini saying, wow, that's a great idea. And I was like, wow, so we are thinking at the same level. I got complimented by AI. So we're working in tandem with each other. And that, I think, is the beauty. So AI is not killing creativity in any way. It is just boosting our creativity, is helping us to think completely out of the box. I think the box is again out of the window. There is no box now. And yes, so I uh, I would like to share my screen if Sangeeta ma'am, you could. Um,
Yes, please.
so
Please go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So can you
Yes,
see
it's
it?
on.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it's on.
So this is like Sangeeta ma'am has introduced me already. So I'm the head of the English department at N Podar School, and I've been here for about 9 years at a stretch. And at this point, I would also like to thank our principal, Ms. Afrita Bir ma'am, and my headmistress, Ms. Suman Samar, because they have given us so much creative liberty to try anything and everything that we want. Of course, everything doesn't work, but they've given us a lot of liberty to try different things in the classroom. And so my session today is going to be, I'm going to talk about two tools, which will help to enhance classroom engagement and activities, a few cases in point, and a little bit of help from Gemini on how, we can go ahead with the planning of it. So that's how it's going to be. And like you rightly said, AI is all around us. There is no way that we can actually deny it. It's very important for us right now, and hence it's I captain for me. I sail along with the AI ship, and for that, the first tool that I'm going to talk about is it's called twee.com. So if you can see my screen, Sangeeta ma'am, is it visible?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's called twee.com. Of course, we've been doing a lot of magic AI, and like Vibha ma'am said, that we use a particular tool, then it becomes paid, and then we get exasperated, because then we need to keep paying up for having activities. But twee.com, is very specifically about English language teaching. If you can see, it has a very, very a pretty, very neatly organized sort of interface over here, creating text on certain topics, creating multiple choice questions, creating open questions, lead in activities, simplifying and upgrading your text. And what I'm going to dwell on today is the audio and video question creator. So it's raining very heavily here. So I'm just a little worried about the speed of internet. Do let me know if it's a little slow. But otherwise, I have here uh, a YouTube video on figures of speech. Okay. So I've added this to the audio and video question creator. And you can see that there are these green bars over here, which can help me to adjust how much of the video I want to share. But I have selected a short video. What are the kind of questions that I want to ask the students? So I want to start with open questions. And what is the level? So I can select the grade level, since I primarily teach 9th and 10th. I select grade 10, and the language. So it is automatically actually detecting English. And like we say, AI is magic. So abracadabra, and we do the magic, and we find open-ended questions on figures of speech created on the right side. And the best part about TWE, that, even without asking, even without having to sort of down my ego in asking for answers, TWE has provided the answers for us as well. And I may not need all these questions, because there are way too many. I can decide, and edit this, and I can decide, okay, I want to keep this question, I want to keep this question, and I can delete this question. So I delete this question, and this again is not really related to figures of speech, but it's there in the video. I can also edit this, I'll save this. So over here, I can edit my questions. So I can add a little bit more, telling the students, let's say, listen and learn. So I can add a slightly quirky, more interesting title for the children. And I have the questions ready. Another thing that it does is, you can see so many options over here. I can create 3 summaries. So again, I select the grade. I can select grade 10, and I can ask them to create 3 summaries. All 3 summaries are not right. Only the third summary is correct, as you can see in the answers. So I can use this summary in order to create a summary gap fill. So again, do the magic, and it is going to create a gap filling summary based on the summary that it has created. So I have a host of questions, and as you can see, every time I create something, it takes me to something else. Don't stop. So I've done 3 summaries, I've done audio and video questions, and I can do audio video discussion questions. There is also an option of audio and video to text. So again, it detects English. So it's going to give me the transcript of the video that I have, uploaded, and it's a short video. So this is the transcript that has appeared right on the right hand side, and there are more options using the script now. So what can I do? I can do lead-in activities. So this is my text, and I can ask TWE to again do an abracadabra and create some lead-in questions. So write a few figures of the speech. It's raining cats and dogs, time is a thief. Ask students to work in pairs to guess the meanings of these phrases and share their interpretations. So what kind of a figure of speech are they? Or if I want to divide children into small groups, assign a different figure of speech. There are 4 figures of speech being discussed in this video: hyperbole, metaphor, simile, and understatement. And I can ask them to come up with examples. So I don't want all of them. I want to edit. I can delete, one odd activity. I don't want to keep this activity. I can delete it, and I can save this. So I have those 2 lead-in questions. Another, very interesting thing is create an exercise with matching halves or extract co-locations. So when I do deselect all words, it's going to bring me to certain, phrases which I can deselect. So let me take it to in the form of hyperbole. So select word. So as I deselect these words, when it creates a summary for me, it is going to, sort of give these as blanks. So argue with a brick wall. select word. Then understatements. So if somebody has a gruesome imagery, you can just say it is but a flesh wound. So the whole thing is when we share an audio or a video with students, what we expect them to do is to listen very carefully. And when we have these kind of gap filling, activities, it we are just able to check whether they have been listening correctly or not, and do the magic. So it has created this co-locations, and I can share this with the students and they can fill in the gaps. Now after doing this, now I have a host of activities related to my video, in terms of transcript, in terms of video, audio, video. But I can't share it in this order because we want to do the lead-in activities first, right? Then we want to probably share the transcript and do a warm-up. So how do I arrange them? So if I hover over the number, you find it shows an arrow. So I can move this up. So if I keep hovering, it moves up, and I hover and it moves up. And finally, I come right on top. So I have all the activities here and related to the video that I had shared. And if you see on the left hand side, there are options of sharing this. So I can share this with my colleague. Anyone with the link can view, or anyone with the link can edit. Or I also have the option of exporting it. Now I have it on my to be interface, but it doesn't help because it has to be sent to the students. So I can save it as PDF. So I'm exporting it as PDF. The other option is, so I'll just show you. So if you can see, it has been exported as a PDF over here. And this, has the answers. But if I don't want the children to see the answers. If I want, when I am exporting it, I can uncheck include correct answers and share it as a PDF. So I can share it as a PDF and put it up on Google Classroom. I can mail it to the students, or I can create a folder in TWE itself and share that folder. So this really works well for students with whom we are trying to personalize education, or we want to differentiate. So we can, I'll show you how to upgrade the text or to simplify it also. So we don't include answers, and we can also save it as a PDF, or the other option is to save it, export it to Google Forms. And if you can see, it is exported to Google Forms. Sangeeta ma'am, can you see my screen? Just like a quick check.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
It's
yes.
all
Okay,
going
ma'am.
well.
Yeah,
Can
okay.
see the,
So,
and in fact, having the Google form being done was very exciting. Thought
yeah,
so much labor saved.
so much labor
Just
saved. Yes, yes,
so much
ma'am.
labor.
Yeah.
So
So it's
definitely
here.
that magic is working well. I like the
Yes,
do
it
the
is.
magic button as
Do
well.
the magic. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
carry on,
ma'am.
carry on.
Yeah. So now I'm back on this, back on TWE. And after creating these open-ended questions and this, I also have the option, if I go down to listening, we've done audio and video to text. We also have the option over here of simplify or upgrade. So if you look at simplify or upgrade, I can paste my text here, which of course is something that we'll be doing even on other things, or I can even upload an image. So I have this very interesting research that I've been doing on Shakespeare and sustainability. I don't know why people feel that, it's a buzzword now and we need to talk about sustainability now, but people have always been conscious. And Shakespeare in his plays also has been focusing on sustainability. And this article actually talks about some of the, an extract from the article, and you can see how I had uploaded an image, and this image has been, sort of converted into a text. And I have the option of simplifying it if I am using it for students who have certain learning issues. Then we can simplify it. If we want to upgrade it, we can upgrade it. So let's say we simplify it. And yeah, again, 1, 2, 3, and the magic. So we have this simplified version of Shakespeare's focus on how his plays, talk about the importance of nature. We've seen all the romantic poets and writers of that era have been deifying nature, and it is now that we have started on gone on such a rampage. So this would be a very interesting multidisciplinary read for the students on focusing on how even in the 16th century or the early 17th century, writers were very aware of how important it was to preserve the environment. And again, TWE doesn't want us to stop at just simplifying. There is a host of other activities that it has suggested. So you can create an exercise in matching halves, true or false statements, link words into sentences. So I can select words and get them to make sentences out of it. A dialogue on the same topic. This is something that I really find very interesting. Type the words you want to use separated by commas. I think it's fine. I can select the grade, and here, so wherever I want the to yeah, so it's become in the form of a dialogue. So you want to do a bit of a role play and make it a little more interesting, you can do that. Instead of children having to sit and read a very verbose sort of a passage, it can be enacted by a few students, and that would probably make it a lot more interesting. And yeah, so this is what we have. And one more thing that I would talk about on this is create a text. Of course, we have a lot of generative AI that is helping us to create text. But what happens is the text is not completely in sync with what we want the students to know. We want it to have a certain level of vocabulary. We want it to be informative. We want it to be analytical. We want it to be a discursive passage. So here, I'm going to choose something, which the children are really into now. Let's say time travel. And I have a list of words here which I have, which I want the children to know about time travel, or in generally, like we've been talking about, getting them to improve their vocabulary. So I've added a few words of my own, and I want it to be, again, for grade 10. What sort of genre do I want it to be? Do I want it to be a descriptive article, a fictional story, argumentative article? Okay, let's take argumentative article, set the word limit about 250, 300, 350, and again, 1, 2, and 3, and we watch the magic. So this is a passage that has been created by TWE using the vocabulary words that I have put into the box. And again, we have TWE doesn't want us to stop the magic at this, so we go on and on. Again, the same kind of questions. We can do multiple choice questions. They call them the ABCD questions. We can even create creative writing topics on this. So, so you want to create, creative writing topics. Again, we select the level, and it can give us, okay, the target vocabulary again over here, and we do the magic. So, a social media post discussing a paradox you encountered while time traveling, using the target vocabulary in your explanation, create a blog post or write an email describing a recent experience with an anachronism during your time travel adventures. So, just making creative writing a lot more fun than just, this thing. Uh, Word and translation matching. So I have my target vocabulary. Now I want to give them an exercise where I'm going to, sort of mix and match the meanings, and they need to do a sort of a match the following. So, okay, the language is English, magic. I don't know why it's coming in Czech. Okay, but this is how, and what I can do is I can unmix them and also make them spellings. I don't know why Twee is doing this, but it should be English only. And okay, let's see. Yeah. Uh, so it creates a sort of a vocabulary exercise. I can also unmix it and provide it to the children as a vocabulary. So that is something, again, target a dialogue with target vocabulary. So I find that the options with Twee are endless. It just goes on and on. And like, we just started off by talking about how students don't like to read. Because like the students, or like us, I should say, we're all so hooked on to our phones, that what is very important is to make reading palatable to the children. They are not of the era where we used to sit. I remember, Sanchita ma'am, like you very rightly said, there was a time when my parents had to come and stop me and say, just stop reading, no reading on the dinner table, and no reading here and no reading there. And we would just finish a book and run to the library and get another book. And, it was like an endless, like literally reading in a chain reaction. But now children don't have that kind of time, or they don't have that kind of enthusiasm to read. Maybe there aren't too many readers at home. I don't know what it is, but there has been a deterioration in the kind of reading that happens, and which is why it is very important to do these little exercises where we can motivate them to read bit by bit. Try and introduce target vocabulary words so that they learn with every exercise that they do, and they start incorporating those words in their language, because communication, I think, is key in everything that we are doing nowadays. Because if we are not able to communicate well, I think it's quite sad, whether it be negotiation skills or it be pitches in businesses. It's very, very important to be, you know, yeah. So this is my little take on twee.com. And do try, because it has a lot of potential. And I think it helps to develop all the four skills we call, very typically, in a very broad perspective: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So
It
I,
sounds magical as you demonstrated. The possibility seems to be immense, and
yes.
I'm sure English teachers would be very excited to try them out. We do have lots of people who are asking and getting excited about
Okay.
what you're showing. So
Okay.
absolutely, it's catching the fancy of many of us. One
Okay.
query up,
Mm, mm.
that is it possible to convert the voice in over into the text? So I think you
Yes.
talked about issue getting the transcripts, but
Yes.
would you be able
So
to
that
help?
happens in the paid version, ma'am. In the paid version, you can upload a link from your drive. Otherwise, what you can do is maybe have an audio which you upload on YouTube and then put the link.
Hmm. Right.
So yeah, so but if you have the paid version, then you can just have an audio track in your in your hard drive, and you can
Hmm.
upload it. But otherwise, if you can upload that audio onto YouTube and then create a link and put it here, then you can do that. Your own
Right. Sounds
audio. Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, because we also use this, for when we do flipped lessons.
Hmm.
So if we have a particular video which we have created, some of them are very long, so I did not want to use them here because they're about 10 minutes or so. So we have our self-curated videos, on certain poems, which are simple, straightforward. So we just send, the video to the children with this kind of a warm-up activity on a Google form, and we expect them to have read all of that and come back to class, and then we can have more leading questions and more discussions beyond the text in class rather than focusing on the explanation or
Yeah.
focusing on figures of speech or something like that. So I think that works great with this. So another thing that one could do is with TWE is if you go back to home, um, you can see my projects over here, and
Hmm.
everything gets saved as my projects. And if you click on these three dots, you can even move it to a folder or rename it. So if you move it to a folder, like I said, if you want to use it for differentiation, then you can share that particular folder with a particular child, and you can keep populating it with exercises, you know uh, starting with various levels, just to track the growth of a child. So this is something that also I think is good with me.
Great. Good
So
options there.
yes,
Definitely for us to
yes,
try.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Uh, so the next thing that I would like to talk about is um, to share my screen. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm adding on. Yes.
Yes.
Skybox.
Skybox AI. So this is something that works very well for English. I'll tell you after I show you how the tool works. So this is for creating 360-degree worlds. We have a host of options. As you can see, these are the kinds of visuals that will get created. So we all have our annual days, and we all have fancy LED screens behind us. And we need to transport people into different eras. We need to have a very different vista, a colorful palette sort of behind to support the drama or the theater that's happening in front of us. We struggle very hard because very often we don't get exactly what we want in our on YouTube, or and every AI tool does not generate the right kind of things. So I'll just show you what they have over here. So this is these are the kinds of things they have. There's an auto pan option. I'll just show you why. So this is just something that has been created by a skybox already, and this can be used as a backdrop for any scene that we are trying to depict. You can see very very good HD quality, which looks very beautiful when it goes up on an LED screen. And what we can do is customize this. So I have just selected this this particular template that they have of a radiant painting, and I'm going to put in my own prompt, so which again I have generated from Gemini. I asked Gemini to create a prompt with these words. So, shimmering mist parts to reveal a lush, otherworldly forest, crystal waterfalls cascade into iridescent pools, and luminous flowers bloom, and mythical creatures roam freely. I want the prompt to be enhanced, so I want it to really come out beautifully. And I say generate. It gives us a few tips, along the way. So, yeah, it's done. So, we use this extensively because we make children do a lot of graphic novels. Graphic novels based on the lessons that they are studying. So they are able to put in their own prompts and create this kind of a thing. So I'm going to just this so you can see, based on the prompt that I had given, it has created this beautiful image with the lush waterfall and the flowers and the sky, and all of this, which yeah. So I could be doing a fantasy story, and I could just sort of download this as an MP4 and play it in the background. I could add my own elements, my own characters to this. Of course, those things do require a sort of a paid version, but I could remix this also. I could remix this if I wanted, in the form of a watercolor. I want to remix in the form of a watercolor. So it's going to remix this for me and give it, in the form of a sort of a watercolor painting. It's just taking a little while because of my internet. Yeah, yeah. So the same scene has become a bit of, it's giving the watercolor kind of an impact. This is something that I find really intriguing. Uh, you know, it's so difficult to create images of, which have this kind of HD quality. And we struggle very hard during our, annual days to find the right kind of a background for our theater that the children are performing. One more thing that one can do is, it's called Model 2. Just, I'd select something. Let's see this. Yeah. So when I click on Model 2, then I get something like a paintbrush over here. And this is the grid. Now, what I'm going to do is just this is just going to help me to sort of customize the structures that, it makes for me here. And I'm going to put in another prompt that I have. It's a little more, little different from what we had just now. And I'm going to put my prompt over here. Okay, so this is a sort of a war scene, a little gruesome. I can select a style. Okay, I can make it futuristic, or I can make it a sci-fi, and I click on generate. So even with these, once you have the background, you can use other tools and overlay different pictures. So if you can see this, this has been created. And why did I, make those rectangular boxes? Because I wanted it to have a particular structure, maybe because I want to place a character in a particular way. So the buildings and all that it has placed according to my instructions. So if you remember, I had made those blocks on the screen, and it has created a war scene in such a way as it is following the pattern that I had marked on the screen, like this. So these were the blocks that I had created. So if I want to show a battalion of army, or I want to show some character doing something over here, I have a little bit of empty space. So like I said, snow mountains and all of that. I can even customize it a bit. I show if I want, sort of make it a night scene. So it can make it a night scene, these are a few customizations that one can do to it. Of course, it's a tool that I also haven't explored too much, but I had found this very good. Here again, it has the option of downloading, sharing. I can download it as an MP4. I can download it as JPEG images. So it has tried to create, I don't know, in its own way, a sort of a different scene over here of the war, again following the grid that I had made for it. So here we have the option of download. Can be downloaded as a JPEG, PNG, a depth map, or a video, landscape, portrait, or square. So I'll just download it as a video, and then we can embellish it with various, elements that we need for our performance. So while it gets downloaded, I would like to show you. Can you see me, ma'am? Can you see my?
Yeah, we can put you on focus there. Let me change the
Okay, okay.
screen.
I
Let me
have
bring it.
actually a printout,
Yeah.
so I wanted to show that. Uh, am I on now?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So this is a graphic novel. So we had given this as a part of their internals activities. This is a grade 10 lesson, A Letter to God by G.L. Fuente, and I managed to bring this one. So this boy has used Skybox AI and made a graphic novel of the whole lesson. So if you can see, created the scenes, put in the dialogue, and
Nice.
created a graphic novel
Wow.
very simply. I don't know how visible it is, but yeah. So in just a matter of 5-6 pages, the entire story has been summarized. So
Hmm.
this was done by all the students of grade 10. So this is how it is, and she's also, given it this comic book look. Like every comic begins with a little bit of, ads of comic books. So he's made it like this. So a lot of children had done very good stuff, and usually we don't ask them to. Take prints, but because it was a grade 10 activity and we need to store certain things for their portfolios, we had them to make this. So uh, back to
So
my
at this
screen.
point, to
Yes, ma'am.
anywhere, yeah,
Yeah.
because what you showed is absolutely amazing. It looks
Yes.
like a professional artwork.
Yes, yes,
So I'm
yes,
sure
ma'am.
the kid has app smashed quite a bit here.
Yes.
You know. Because
Yeah.
again, the children have their own creativity, and they
Yes.
don't, they
Yes.
just need to be directed and given a sense of what you are getting asking them to
Yes.
do.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
these
Absolutely.
characters that you were talking about, because there was a
Hmm.
query about in the
Yes.
skybox, it created this whole scenario
Hmm.
because you had given those frames, right? And then you said
Correct. Yes.
we can then add in characters. But
Yes.
what if your prompt, is written in a format where you're asking for, you know, people
Yes.
or a certain character? Will it
Yes.
give us
It
something like
does.
that?
Yes, it does. So, if I I have put in, if you see, can you see my screen, ma'am, now?
I'll
I
just
have,
change that.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I have, can you see the green bits that it's highlighting now
Yes.
because I had put them?
Yeah.
So, I have put in a soldier crawls through mud,
Hmm.
but you cannot really see that, so
Hmm.
it's just giving me the the general vista. But if I put in an animal or something, it comes. So like
Okay.
in my previous prompt, I had put in, I've done this before, so I need birds flying in the sky. So it's
Hmm.
not going to show movement, but it gives us the background. So the birds will be there in the sky, there will be a waterfall. So I I think there are a lot of other things that are there in the paid version. So if
Right.
one could just explore based on one's needs, then we can. There are options of adding characters from Skybox itself, but I
Hmm.
don't know how much movement they will have. So
Hmm.
what I really found this good was for how the children managed to make this graphic novel, so
Absolutely.
which worked very well for us. And you can download scenes as PDFs and JPEGs, and use them in any way that you want. So this is something that I really liked, uh, which as English teachers, and there are so many, even by themselves, the models that are given
Hmm.
are pretty good. So we this one I like particularly because when we do a lot of plays by Shakespeare and all, we really struggle to find even a cobbled street. In the kind of the videos that you get. So we can use this as a starter, visual, if you want to create this kind of an aura of a rainy cobble street,
Yeah.
in slightly, and yeah, so this is,
Wonderful.
yeah, so these are just, they are there on Skybox for us to download and use.
Hmm.
But if you want to customize it also, I think the customization can happen. So this is about Skybox AI. And so also one thing I would like to show you is how we have used visuals to make book trailers. So I have just opened one or two book trailers that the children have made. So again, when we want to motivate the children to read, we give them one activity every month. So they issue a book, and every month there is an activity that goes up on Google Classroom. So they have to make a book trailer on the book that they have read. So I'll just show you one odd trailers that I've got over here. Ma'am, can you see my screen? The Julie one?
Yes. You have
Yes.
to play that audio now,
Yes,
video.
yes, I will play
Yes.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so very well made, and look at the
I
creativity of the children.
Yes. So there
Amazing.
is one more. I'll just show you. Uh, so I think that my screen has gone. No? I'll have to share my screen again. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your children are enjoying these
Yes.
opportunities. They love anything to do
Absolutely.
with technology,
Yes.
and if you get a chance to include that in their academic
Yes.
task,
And it's
it's
pretty much
great.
a part of, ma'am, the NEP also talks about IT, incorporating IT and
Yes.
incorporating, all these tools in our. So this
Amazing.
was another one. Yeah,
Very good.
yeah. So this is, how we try and use, AI. Another thing that, I would like to show you is, yeah. So if you can see, just escape and show this. So we have this treasure hunt in school during our English Literary Week, and all these clues. If you can see, we call it Finding Nemo, and we have all these clues for the children. Put in envelopes all around the school, and it's absolutely electric and riveting. The children enjoy it so much. They're running around in groups solving these little English puzzles, word searches and all, which can be very easily created even on Canva. This is a Canva presentation only. Ma'am, can you see it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So, this is certain codes which they need to, a little bit of a word search, you know, and a word maze. So as they keep moving, from one place to the other, they get a clue for the next, location where they will find their clue. And they need to keep solving these. All these we have, generated on AI tools. And this is the last where I think they find Nemo at the end. So this is one thing that works. Another thing we do to boost reading is we've asked these children to make what we call Facebook pages, okay, for characters. So I'll just show you. Uh, this is the interface of my Google Classroom. And can you see it, ma'am? The Google Classroom, June
I
reading
can
activity.
see the Elizabeth
Yes,
Allen
yes,
page.
ma'am, yes.
Yes.
So we asked the students, so when they did their June reading activity, we asked them to choose any one character from the book that they had read and to
Hmm.
create a Facebook page for that character.
Yeah.
So this girl has made a Facebook page for Elizabeth Allen, and so I have moved a little away from AI over here, of course. But the whole thing is how we started off. When I heard, it was resonating so much with me when Sanchita ma'am was talking about reading. That
Yeah.
we are on with hammer and tongs on the children. You know, you have to read. There is no escape. So, that little creativity that they come up with, how she has tagged her friend Rita, and Rita
Mm.
has liked the post. So, this little bit of, extra effort that they did, and they really enjoyed this activity. So we've decided that we are going to make them read. There is no way that they are not going to read. So that is one thing. I'm also going to share this tab of mine. We've started, on this reading again, to make this a little more interesting. Uh, Scene from the Diary of Anne Frank, where Anne's hiding in the annex. So, a modern day adaptation, the children have to make a vlog from Anne Frank's perspective, capturing her hopes, fears, and reflections on life during World War II. Again, The Great Gatsby, again, an iconic book. So, a Snapchat story showing a friend's lavish birthday party at a rooftop bar, complete with filters, stickers, and captions about the crazy night. To Kill a Mockingbird, The Trial of Tom Robinson, a social media campaign using hashtags like Justice for Tom Robinson, featuring posts about the case, historical context, and the ongoing fight against racial injustice. Another thing that we are very vehement about is that the children must read Indian literature as well. So every activity that we have has, elements of, Indian literature. So a social media poll asking followers if they would change their name to a more Western one, sparking a debate about identity and belonging, based on Jhumpa Lahiri's The Namesake. So these are, just very few. Unfortunately, there's so much that I could go, and I know we're out of time. But this is one last thing that we did for our literary week. Ma'am, can you see my Facebook page?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So we had this little. We have our literary week, and we have this activity again, AI generated, if you can say, where the children were stomping on balloons. So we had this whole lot of balloons blown up, and each balloon, one balloon had a meaning and the other had the word, like we did the vocabulary activity. So they had to stomp on all these balloons and then, complete the meaning and complete the sentence. So the children had a blast. They stomped on the balloons and then they ran helter skelter, going around trying to find the counterparts, matching the sentences, creating sentences. And this is for grade six. And then we had a follow up activity on once we got a sentence, change it into active voice or change it to passive voice. Well, how would you report it, a reported speech? And they were all dialogues, iconic dialogues from books, from famous characters. So, so just making it a whole lot of fun
Yeah.
for the. These are also pictures of putting jigsaw puzzles together, and of course we have a lot of fun doing all this. So that is quite another thing. And lastly, when we have so many of these activities, I have what my take on the whole thing is, ma'am. Just like a final word on this is that. Uh, Gemini and all the AI tools can boost our creativity. So if we have the seed of an idea, we must try and build on it, because these generative AI tools just keep complementing our creativity. There is no way that it is killing creativity. So again, here, I have a chat on how we want to have escape rooms in English. So in English Literature Week, we plan to have escape rooms. So the idea of the escape room came, and then we put it on Gemini, and then it gave us a few ideas, and then each idea we gave again to Gemini, and again, sort of ballooned it into a very concrete activity. So I think that is my final take, and that is Captain, and I'm all in for AI. I eat my words. I had started off with scorning at it, but now I'm all for AI. And of course, Gemini also helps in creating rubrics, which are very, very important for all these activities. So do explore, and yeah, I think the world is our oyster as far as this thing is concerned. So
Yeah.
I'm going to stop my screen now, and that's it from me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sushmita. There's a whole, wealth of ideas that have come in, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate seeing the work of your students because
Ah,
they have put your ideas into action.
yes.
And, they
Yes.
have
Kudos
given
to
their
them. Kudos
own
to them. They play along. They just
post.
play along.
And they
Yeah.
always they go much beyond what you
Beyond,
were
beyond.
thinking of
Yes.
and your expectations are. So
Hmm.
children are always amazing us. I think we are
Yes.
always trying to underestimate them, but they always
Yes.
outshine
Yes.
uh, and
Yeah.
come
They
up with
are. Yeah.
amazing work. So
And actually,
fantastic.
they help us a lot.
Yes.
Sometimes we get stuck with something, then I just need to run to the students and say, listen, I've got this, but I don't know how to go ahead. So then we have those techies, who are going to say, ma'am,
Yeah.
what are you trying? This is not possible. I said, please make it possible. Do what you can. So,
Yeah.
and that's how
They
we
are
keep
our biggest
stretching our
supporters.
boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. I
that's,
think they know, they play with these tools much
hmm.
more. They are more
Yes.
experimental. We are
Yes.
always, a
Nervous.
little
Huh.
reserved and nervous in
Yes.
trying them
Yes.
out, but they just
Yes.
go head on into it and they try
Yeah.
to give their touch to it. So I'm
Yeah.
absolutely, amazed by the work that the students are doing. And
Yes.
of course, kudos to you and your team who
Yes,
is
ma'am.
leading them into this, who is sharing and giving them
Yeah, I
this.
have an absolutely amazing team. Absolutely amazing team. Each one is bubbling with ideas, and our brainstorming sessions are, over chai and food. So like we say, we need food for thought. So we really do a lot of brainstorming, and we're very excited now because we have our Lit Week coming up next month. And
Okay.
yeah, so we have a week of English literary activities. So, and
Wow.
every year we try to, reinvent ourselves. This is the fourth year for the English literary week, and it's called Let's Get Lit. So that's why, I wanted to
Oh,
call this
okay.
session Let's Get Lit, because it is an ode to our literary week. And
Yes.
yeah, so
So wish you
that's,
all the best with your.
thank you so much.
I
Yeah.
am sure you'll come, gather many more ideas as you prepare for this week,
Yes, yes.
and we can
I
have you
actually had
back.
so much, but I was really contained myself and said, no, 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 I don't.
No, we would
No,
love to
what
have
should
you
I?
back with you after your next
Sure,
round
sure,
of
sure.
Lit
I'll
Week
be
to
so
hear
glad.
more from you,
Yes, ma'am.
isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, ma'am.
Sanchita,
Thank you so much.
I'm sure you were also excited, watching
Yes,
all
yes,
the.
I've made my notes. I've made my notes, and I'm going to take some of these ideas back to my team as well, and we'll see how we can pick up these
Yes.
ideas and incorporate them into our history lessons as well. Because yeah,
Yes,
some of
sure,
them
ma'am.
are really interlinked. For example, we do
Hmm,
have a lesson in grade 10
hmm,
on the development of literature in England
hmm.
as well as in
Yes,
India
yes,
from the
yes,
18th century onwards. So
yes.
yeah, I've picked up some ideas from you, and let's see how that pans out in my school. And maybe next time we meet, we'll exchange notes.
Yes, definitely. There's so much to learn from you all, ma'am. I just hope that someday we can actually meet. Yeah, so that would be great,
Yes.
great exchange of
We'll,
ideas.
we'll look forward to
Absolutely.
that.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
thank you so much. And
My
we
pleasure.
look forward to more collaborations between GG Mumbai and GG
Yes, ma'am.
Delhi NCR.
Sure.
And let's get to share more ideas with both
Yes,
the communities so that we kind of grow together in this process. So,
yeah,
and thank you to
absolutely.
our audience. They were very proactive and
Hmm.
engaged, and they were all excited. I'm sure they are going to spread the word, and more people are going to come and join and watch this session. This will remain available on our YouTube, and we've been sharing these links as we go along. But if you're new to this session and new to this community, then do subscribe to this channel so that you can also get the notifications for our future sessions that are going to come. So hopefully we'll bring Sushmita back again soon and get more ideas shared with all of you. But once again, thank you so much, Sushmita,
Thank you,
for joining
ma'am.
us and taking time out of your busy schedule. I know as
Not
teachers.
at all. Today was a holiday, so I'm relaxed.
Yeah.
Good. Mm.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Sanchita, ma'am. See you, ma'am. Bye. Bye.
All right. Bye to everyone. We will meet
Bye
again
bye.
soon with another exciting program for all of you. So, till then, stay well.
See
Take
you.
care, everyone. Bye bye.